when you want to use any additional devices, for example, pen drive and all, before using that, you have to scan that system. Whatever content in the file, sometimes that is unreadable, we are not able to read that, automatically reboot itself, multiple copies it will create. When you come on network security, it is a method of protecting the computer from authorized access, modification or damage here. Welcome back to one and all. Myself, Vasanta, lecturer in Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Today, we are going to start with the 7th session of networking concept. Whereas in the previous session, you have studied regarding the application of networking. With that, you have studied regarding switching techniques. Under that, circuit switching, how exactly the circuit switching will take place before transferring the data. First, it has to establish the connection between source to destination, whereas the next one, message switching. In this message switching, how data is transferred, how data is transferred from source to destination. Under that, how exactly the copy of the data will stored. Regarding that, you have studied. Then packet switching. Then what are the advantages on circuit switching, message switching as well as packet switching. Whereas on today's class, you will study regarding what do you mean by virus. How you come to know your computer is attacked by virus. Then types of virus. When you come on type, there are several types of virus. Then virus prevention. How to prevent the virus. Then characteristics of a computer virus. Symptoms of virus. Network security. Then protection method. How to protect your computer by virus. Then hackers and crackers. Cookies as well as cyber law. Regarding that, today you will come to know. Now first we will come to know regarding virus. The expansion of virus is vital information retrieval under size. When we come on the definition of virus, computer virus is a miscellaneous program which causes the system to operate incorrectly and also corrupts the computer memory. When we come on this virus, here especially it will corrupt your system. It will miscellaneous program without the knowledge of the user. It will enter your computer and your computer is get attacked by virus. Whereas here you are not able to come to know when your computer is attacked by virus, on which method your computer is attacked by virus, because without the knowledge of user, the virus can enter to your system and it will corrupt your system. It's a miscellaneous program enter to your system without the knowledge of the user. When we come on types of virus, there are several types of virus. Under that, the first one, file infector virus. Under this type of virus either infect executable files or attack themselves to a program file and create duplicate files here. By itself, it will going to create one more duplicate copy. It will attack your system without the knowledge of user. The multiple copies of the same file here it will create. That is file infector virus. The name itself is a string file. That means it mainly affects on your file. Duplicate copy of the same file will be created by multiple times and it will affect your system. And the next one is boot sector virus. When they come on boot sector virus, install themselves on the beginning tracks of a hard drive because of which operating system do not load properly here. It means that it mainly affects the booting section. Automatically it will corrupt your booting sector. The name itself is suggesting boot sector virus. At the time of installation it may occur, especially here it will affect the booting section. Then what do you mean by booting? On that booting time, all the files, data, application will transfer from secondary memory to primary memory, because computer can interact only with the primary memory. Under booting section, everything will load, whereas here this boot sector virus affects the booting section. And the next one is macro viruses. Here it infects data files like electronic spreadsheet or database. It mainly affects the database files here, especially spreadsheet and all. Here it will affect. And the next one is network viruses. Whereas this virus use computer network to spread themselves on the network. It mainly uses the network. By that themselves, they will spread the virus here. They use emails or files transferred to spreadsheet themselves on the network. For example, when you open the file through email, on that time if that file is affected by virus, when you open that, automatically your system get corrupted. Here it is attacked by virus. That is, with the help of network, this virus will spread. And when you come on the virus prevention, computer can protect from virus by following guidelines. Under that, few things we have to remember. Never use a foreign disk or a CD without scanning for a virus. When you want to use any additional devices, for example, pen drive and all, before using that, you have to scan that system, especially pen drive and all, additional CD and all. First, you have to scan and then you can able to access the data. By that also, we can able to prevent the virus. And always scan files downloaded from the internet or other source. Whatever file you are downloading, that file must and should, before downloading, you have to scan and then download the files. Then use licensed software. Always use licensed software. Then only we can able to prevent the virus. Then password protection for your PC is required. By using some password, we can able to protect our PC. Install and use antivirus software. Compulsory for your system. You have to install updated antivirus. Then only you can able to prevent the virus here. Keep antivirus software up to date. Every time we have to update the software, especially this antivirus software, we have to update here. These are the few methods there we can able to prevent the virus. That means before using any additional CD drive or pen drive, scan that. Then always scan before downloading the files. Then use licensed software, especially here. If I want to access any data, first you have to purchase the licensed software. Then password protection is required. Then install and use antivirus software. With that, keep antivirus software up to date. Next, we will move on the characteristics of a computer virus. What are the characteristics? When they come on characteristic, it is able to replicate. That means duplication automatically. It will create its own duplicate copy here. It requires host program as a carrier. It is activated by external actions, and with that, its replication ability is limited to the system. These are the characteristics of a computer virus. How we come to know that our computer is corrupted by virus? Automatically boot itself, automatically switch off itself. Sometimes the same file, duplicate copy here, it will display. Otherwise, unwanted dialog box, it will display. Then once if you press some particular command, it takes lot of time to work that. That means your system will not support you as regularly you are doing. That means from that you come to know that your system is attacked by virus. Then symptoms of virus, under that the system do not boot properly. Already I told you it will not boot properly. The system become slow. By that also we can identify our system is corrupted by virus. The files are corrupted and the contents of the file become unreadable. Whatever content in the file, sometimes that is unreadable, we are not able to read that. Automatically reboot itself, multiple copies it will create. Then lack of storage space here, unexpected ads on screens we are getting, the dialog box we are getting here, unnecessary. Then some of the antivirus are Kaspersky, Quick Heal, K7, Norton 360, AVG, Panda, etc. These are the some of the antivirus software nowadays we are using. Next, when you come on network security. When you come on network security, it is a method of protecting the computer from authorized access, modification or damage here. Unauthorized access, we have to control here. Unauthorized person accessing of data can be prevented here. Under this type of security mechanism like authorization, authentication, encrypted smart card, biometric system or firewall are used here. To prevent that, we are using authentication format, whether it may be in biometric format or it may be in password format. By that, we can able to prevent that. Next, we will move on protection methods. When they come on protection method, under that, the first one is authorization. Only we have to allow the system only for the authorized person. That is, in this method, check whether a person is granted access to use the system or not. This is done by legal login ID and password. Only for authorized person, we have to allow here. That can be identified by seeing their ID or by checking the password. By that also we can able to identify whether that person is authorized person or not. Next one, authentication. That is, check whether the server is accessed by valid person or not. Well, this is implemented by asking for a correct password, by just asking whether whatever password they are giving, is it correct or not. By that also we can identify authentication person, is it a valid person or not. And the next one, biometric system. This method uses fingerprints, whereas biometry on that, by fingerprints also we can identify that person is an authorized person or not. Fingerprint, retina scan, voice scan to check the identity of the user here. And the next one is firewall, whereas a system designed to prevent authorized access to or from the private network is called firewall. It blocks that contents that does not match the security criteria. The name itself, firewall, it have one wall. It will check on that wall whether the data is it accessible data or not, whether it is attacked by virus or not. That also, by that also we can able to prevent the virus. And encrypted smart card. It is a handheld smart card that generates the token recognized by the computer. These are the few methods to protect the computer here, that is a protection methods. Next we will move on, what do you mean by hackers and crackers? Because in the exam you will get this question, what do you mean by hackers as well as crackers? Whereas crackers are miscellaneous program who broke in the security system, whereas hackers are interested in gaining the knowledge here. When they come on difference between hacker and crackers, whereas hacker is a person who is interested in the learning many operating system, they are programmer. When they come on hackers, they just want to know the information regarding that. They don't want to give any problem, just they want to learn something, they just want to access the data, that's all, but they don't want to problem the system here. But when they come on cracker, whereas in the crackers, gain authorized access to the system, destroy vital data, convert data into unreadable format. Here, it mainly makes a problem to your system. That means here, it converts your data in unreadable format. Whereas here, they just want to learn how exactly it is working. They just want to gain the information regarding that. When they come on, they discover the security holes. They mainly discover the security hole. They never intentionally damage the data. They don't want to damage the data. They just want to, how exactly in the background is working. It just discover the security holes. What are the holes here? Whereas this hackers helps to develop your software. They are programmer also. But when they come on crackers, they are dangerous people with dangerous intention. Their intention itself is very wrong here. They will damage your system. They will damage your data. But when they come on, hackers' action can be either ethical or illegal. But when they come on, crackers are illegal compulsory. Next, we will move on. What do you mean by cookies? This is the last concept, whereas it is a text file that a web server stores on the client system. It is created when user visit a particular website here. And where, for example, user's authentication information is stored in the cookies when he log into website. Now is it clear? Then when we come on the next concept, that is cyber law. What do you mean by this cyber law? Especially the cyber law helps to avoid the problem in the internet, especially if something happens, some damage is happened, some problem arises for the people with the help of network. On that time, we are using this cyber law. Whereas the cyber law will check the IP address and identify from where that data is started to distributing. What are the authentication here? Who is the responsible for that problem? Everything is identified by this cyber law. Whereas cyber law is a genetic IT which refers to all the legal and regulatory aspect of internet and the www. Whereas Indians IT Acts in India, the cyber law are containing in the Information Technology Act 2000, which was notified on 17th October 2000. Whereas it is based on United Nations Commission for International Trade Related Laws and Model Laws here. And it governs transaction through the internet and other electronic medium. These are the things regarding cyber law. It means that on this chapter, you have studied what do you mean by switching technique, how data is transferring from one side to another side, which are the different types of network devices we are using. Then what do you mean by communication mode, how exactly the data will transfer, which are the different types of devices we are using. What do you mean by hackers, crackers? Then what do you mean by cookies? With that, what do you mean by virus? How to prevent the virus? The operations, how we come to know our system is attacked by virus. To prevent that, which are the precautions we have to take regarding that you have studied. It means that in this chapter, you will get the questions like, what do you mean by network? Which are the devices, network devices? Then what do you mean by communication mode? What do you mean by switching technique? Explain different types of switching technique, how exactly it will work, that is circuit switching, message switching, packet switching. When we come on communication mode, simplex mode, duplex, full duplex, how exactly your data will transfer. Then what do you mean by network? Which are the different types of network, that is LAN, WAN, MAN. Whereas LAN is a local area network, whereas WAN is a wide area network. When we come on MAN, metropolitan area network. Whereas LAN covers small geographical area, WAN covers large geographical area, whereas MAN is in between LAN and WAN. Whereas on this chapter, your major questions are networking, types of networking, how communication will take place, that is communication mode, then switching technique, which are the different types of devices we are using in the network, how exactly it will work, what do you mean by server, and what do you mean by client, which are the different types of client as well as which are the different types of server. Then what do you mean by virus, how exactly it will work, how to prevent the virus. This is the major concept on this chapter. Next class, we will meet you once again with a new chapter. Thank you for all of you.